je vous aimerai, ma foi, je ne sais pas, peut-être.
Scorpio, last month saw you dealing with change. How well are you dealing with it? I think okay, to be perfectly honest, looking at this. June is not without its tensions, but I think you are dealing with it. I think, you recognise there's change and there's ripples, but I'm not overly concerned. The overall energy is one of you considering alternatives, perhaps some quite radical alternatives, which I think is a good sign, particularly at these times of change. In the past, you were celebrating with family and friends. Not sure what that was about. And now there's a love. It's most likely to be a new love, but it doesn't have to be. But love is a very important energy right now. In the future, it sees you taking a rest. Well, again, who can blame you? So much change, so many things happening. Taking a rest is probably a very good thing. What leads to the outcome is a judgment. Now, this is judgment rather than justice. So I tend to think that it's karmic. I also think that to a certain degree it somewhat goes against you. You've got nothing to fear, and to my mind it opens up, it opens up blessings for the future. But I think maybe maybe it does go against you, because the outcome is fear of the unknown. So from judgment leads to fear. So it does suggest that to me. What would offset it or change things is you concerning yourself with making difficult decisions. And I said earlier on, it's the overall energy, isn't it? The overall energy is you planning between different options. I think it's the same thing. To throw yourself into that would offset the fear from this karmic judgment. Let's look in depth. Now, as I say, the overall energy is that of you considering some quite radical options. It's before actual planning, but it is looking at things that would be potentially life-changing. I know by looking at this platform, there appears to be so many people who are looking to move countries. I don't know if that's what you're thinking of, and of course I'm somebody that did that a long time ago. Could I recommend it? Probably not. Would I go back? No. Would I change anything? Probably not. But still, I'd find it difficult to wholeheartedly recommend. But yeah, you're definitely considering something radical, and I think that's important in you seeing through these changes and under some difficulties that you have a vision of something else. Now, in the recent past, you were celebrating, probably with family and friends. Well, you are moving on. You know that you're moving on. You know there's changes. So maybe I can understand that. And this clearly impacts on the month of June. I can't quite see how. I'm not certain how. You'll know better than me. But this celebration does look as though it was important. Now your current energy is one of love, and that has to be a very positive sign, very positive indeed. I normally associate this Ace of Cups with a new love, but it doesn't have to be. It could be a renewed love. It could even be just a close friendship. It could be just telling us that your heart is full of love and that love is sort of guiding you, which is absolutely what you should be doing at a time like this, a time of change. So whatever way we want to see it, I think it's a very, very positive card or energy. I wonder if it comes from the celebration. If it is a new love, did you meet somebody at the celebration? It's possible, isn't it? Again, you know much better than I on that one. Now, these times of change, they're very emotional, I mean, it is somewhat action-packed this June. But even if you were doing nothing, just the roller coaster of emotions wears people out. It's very tiring, emotionally tiring, and it wears you out physically, and you are worn out by the end of this month, and you do need a rest, and you should take it, you really should. And there's nothing better than rest for sorting out your mind, I think that's what you really should be doing. Taking a good rest after this month. Yeah. Have the energy of judgment. This is judgment, not justice. So I believe, it's like a day of judgment. Now, given that we're at a time of such change, you would expect this sort of judgment to occur. And it's karmic. It's got a karmic feeling to it. Now, I don't see karma in the same way that many people do. Certainly not in the same way as, say, Tibetan Buddhists. Or New Agers, for that matter. And often these karmic events are very little to do with you. They're ancestral karma. Now, I've no idea if this is ancestral or you, but it's not going to be that you did this and then suddenly this happens. It's not like that. It is a long-term, very long-term thing, this karma. It's the universe seeking balance for some injustice that you or your ancestors committed. Because I do think this is going against you. It's not something to worry about, I don't think. I think, to a certain degree, it's cathartic. And, you need to, what shall I say? You need to go through it in order to move on. So face it is what I'm saying. I don't think you can avoid this karmic judgment. But what you can avoid is not the negative effects, but the chain of reaction that I believe is going to set off in you that isn't good. And that is, we've said that you were looking at the future, something quite radical. Planning is putting it too strongly, but you are considering quite radical options. So I think if you throw yourself into those, looking at those options, maybe even getting to planning, but certainly looking at them and saying, which way will I do this? Which one do I like the best? Then I think you're not going to dwell on this karmic judgment, which, as I say, I do have the feeling that it's going against you, but I don't have the feeling that in itself it's that bad. So it's really that you need to take your mind off it. And what is this chain reaction that I speak of? Well, it's fear. It's fear of the unknown. Do you know, if you know karmic judgment's coming and you're fearful, I wonder if that does mean that it is something that you've done that's set the universe out of balance, rather than your ancestors. So having given that long speech about ancestral karma, maybe this is individual karma. You're aware of what you've done, and you're aware that with the change karma's coming, and you're fearful of it. And to a certain extent, I think the karma comes, and you're thinking to yourself, well, there's got to be more than that, you know. I'm going to be punished more than that. It's going to keep on happening. And it's the fear that there's even more around the corner that is creating this negative chain of events because of, you know, what is worry but a prayer for things to go wrong. So, you know, if you're worried that you're going to be punished more, you're sending a message to the universe that you want to be punished more, if you see what I mean. Well, we can summarise Scorpio. Scorpio, these are times of great change, and you're very much aware of that. You are, as a result, thinking of doing something quite radical, maybe looking at different options. It's a little bit away from actual action planning, but looking at different options that are quite radical, such as moving overseas. And what I would say to you is that that's a very good thing to do, because it shows that you're confident of a future, but two, it also takes your mind off the minutiae of some setbacks that I think are coming your way. Having said that, immediately I think that you may find a new love. Certainly love is accentuated. But what is coming your way, you see, and you're aware of it, is karma. And it's a karmic judgment, and I think it goes against you. And I think you're aware that it's gone against you, but you're thinking to yourself, is that all there is? And because you're thinking that's all there is, you're awaiting for more. Well, that's sending a message to the universe that you want more punishment, and you will get it. So you've set up a cycle of fear, which is self-fulfilling. You know, you're getting punished by the universe when you needn't. And as I say, if you can plan for the future, plan for things, and take your mind off it, I think things will turn out much better for you in the long run. The other thing that I'd say to you is that this will be physically draining. I mean, clearly it's emotionally draining, but it will also be physically draining. So after this month of June, do take the time to take a rest. Do rest, because you will feel much better for it.